basically a United player as well. I think it's just they're both going to get announced properly in the new away kit tomorrow, I imagine, if you know what Manchester United are like. So if you're happy and you know it, hit that the like button, smash a like on the video, hit the subscribe button, and support the channel if you feel up to it. As you can see, to unpack all of this with me, I have Mr. Daniel Raj. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, doing great. It's a Friday and we have signed a couple of players. So feeling happy.
Yeah. Friday. Which one's better? The fact that it's Friday or the fact that we've signed someone?
Like both.
Both equal. Okay. Yeah. I like it. Sam, how are you doing today, sir?
All right, mate. Yeah. First full week in the new job. Friday, United have won 2 games and we've signed a couple of players. So yeah, it's been all right.
I mean, that's got to be the first time we've won 2 games in a row, innit? Like, I can't remember.
4 goals twice.
Yeah, 4 goals.
How long was it since we've done that? How long was it since we've done that?
Absolute madness. Okay, look, I'm not going to mess about. Let's just jump straight into it because there's a lot of stuff, as I've just said, to unpack. We'll talk about the game first and we'll get onto the signings a little bit later on. Dan, I'll come to you first on this. What were your thoughts on the game and who impressed you in particular?
Yeah, talking about the game, when it started, I think starting 20-25 minutes were a bit shaky, especially in the defense. So we could see that old defense lineup and old style of play in the defense. So it was a bit shaky. But after 25 minutes, there was a bit improvement in the defense in every areas, and we started picking up, and that's where we got a couple of goals at the end of the first half. But second half was totally different. It was so impressive, the second half, especially seeing the youth players with high potentials, everyone putting in their shifts in. And but in the beginning of the second half, the opponent, Melbourne, they were playing a bit back, and they were just tagged up in the back. So that's where we were unable to make more attacking plays, and we were just rotating the ball. But that was also good to see that we were keeping the ball to us. At the same time, in the first half, I can see Sancho played very good. So he was top player in the first half.
Yeah, he was on fire.
Yeah, and in second half, I was really impressed with Savage and Iqbal again. So both the players they have very high potential in them, and especially talking about Savage, I can see that he can in 1 or 2 years he can really get into the team and play as a central defensive midfielder, because his distribution, picking up the runs and the passing, one-touch passing was really good. So yeah, these 2 players have really impressed. Again, I think this is the second consecutive games they have impressed. So
do you know what was refreshing about them two, Dan? I'm glad you mentioned that, because they actually show for the ball. So when the centre-backs have it at the feet, them two drop in and they always show for it. They'll take it off the back four and they'll dictate play. They'll compose it to whoever it is. And you don't see that at all from McTominay. When Maguire or Lindelof usually gets the ball, McTominay does that behind like a player and he's like, "Nee, give it here. And you can see it's just obvious. Like he doesn't want the ball.
And especially with Savage, like whenever Bai or Teles was having the ball, so at that time, Savage and their opponent were like 2 strikers. They're trying to defend, take cover up Bai and Teles. But at the same time, what Savage was doing was he was just making himself available in between 2 attackers so that Bai can place the pass to. So today we have seen a lot of time where Bai or Teles giving pass to Savage in between the 2 attackers of the opponent team. So that was something new to see, which was missing when McTominay and Fred plays.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. I missed quite a bit of the second half because I got dragged. I was in work. I got dragged to do a different job. I was actually watching it, and he was like, they dragged me off my dinner to go do this job. I'm like, fuck's sake, man. So I missed pretty much a lot of the second half. Dan was mentioning a bit of a tactical difference then, or a bit like a few players impressed him as well in the second half. Sam, was there anyone in the second half who impressed you in kind of like the second team?
Like Dan mentioned, Zidane Iqbal, I thought he was very good on the ball. Some great shows of like flair and stuff like that. But he's also very strong as well on the ball. Like he wasn't sort of pushed off or muscled off the ball despite being quite a young lad, and he's not filled out quite yet. He was very strong on the ball. Great passing, great show of flair. Charlie Savage, he's got hints of like Michael Carrick in him.
He definitely doesn't take after his dad, does he, Sam?
No, he's different type of player. Very different type of player to his dad.
Classy. He's very classy, to be fair to him.
So, yeah, he's got great pass on him. great ball control. Yeah, he's very impressive. I think shout out should go out to Eric Bailly, who had two of the most bipolar like types of game I've ever seen in my life. It was unbelievable the game he had. He made two mistakes in a row that almost cost us a goal, and Tom Heaton had to like help him out. This was in the second half.
Okay.
Tom Heaton had to clear it up, and then he set up the Rashford goal.
That's so Eric Bailly, isn't it? So Eric Bailly.
And he was like marauding through the midfield to get the ball in his own half and just start dancing through the midfield. It was mental. I've never seen.
Because I haven't seen it myself, there might have been other people who haven't watched the second half or whatever. What actually happened with the first two mistakes? Like, did he just slice it or something, and then one of them went in?
He just the first pass he underhit it, so it just like ended up being like a couple of yards short of Tom Heaton. So then the Melbourne player was on it, and then the other one he just he sliced it, pinged it the wrong way, and it was into our. But like
he's absolutely mad, isn't he? He's
I
mad.
love Eric Bailly, but my God, he's going to cost us points because. But then he might score it. He might score at the other end because he set the goal up for Rashford. So shout out to Eric Bailly.
We were just discussing about this error in the WhatsApp group, and the very next moment he gave an assist. So.
Yeah, you can literally get a blend of both, can't you? The guy's crazy. I think he's so laid back. He's literally horizontal. Like, he's just like so blasé. He's just like, I can go for it, or I can chill. I can make a mistake. Like, you just never know what you're gonna get from him.
I said to Dan in the chat, I was like, I think Bailly thinks he's a box to box midfielder because he was going for box to box, just like take. It was unbelievable. I've never seen it before.
In fairness, Ten Hag does like proactive play, doesn't it? So if the run's on and he sees it, then why not? Obviously, if you're in a Champions League final or something and he's making them runs, he's putting out, everyone's on pins, mate. Like, oh my God, please do not lose it. Yeah, especially like we're going to touch on it a little bit later, but especially how we are in transition as well. I thought we were really poor today. From the first half that I actually saw, I thought we had good possession. From the first 15 was a little bit weird. It was a little bit back and forth with them having counter-attacks and stuff. And then I thought we had good possession, but didn't really do anything decisive with it. We weren't really, getting in behind. It was just kind of all in front of him because they sat in a low block. And then you see from the first goal that they score how bad we are in transition. And I said it after the Newcastle game. I said it at the Palace game last year. Like, so many games when they get quick players on it and we've pressed up a little bit because we've got, Lindelof and Maguire who aren't blessed with pace, especially Maguire. The transition's so easy for him. They haven't got recovery pace at all.
We can't. I don't know why Ten Hag thinks he can play high line with Harry Maguire.
Well, that was going to be my question. That was going to be my question to one of you. I completely agree with that. I think it's so risky to put Harry Maguire in a high line. You can't do that for a full season. That was against Melbourne Victory, by the way. If
it was in 5 minutes, it took him 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The highlight.
So imagine the teams with the quality some of the players have got in some of the teams have got in. Wow. The quality some of the teams have got in the Premier League, it's going to be a nightmare, isn't it, on the counter attack? Like, imagine St. Maximum, he's absolutely tearing it up against them two centre backs. So,
and the problem with Maguire and Lindelof playing together is that if one of the players is passed by, then other is like you can see that other is helpless. So if you see that any one of the defender is passed by, then other is helpless. So we are wide open. And I think last season. I think we tried this high line with Liverpool, Maguire and Lindelof.
Oh, God. I remember that.
Shaw was out of position as well, again.
Yeah.
He was out for the goal. He was out of position yet again. And if you've got a left back who's going to be out of position and pushed up, your centre backs have to cover. They have to.
Yeah.
And they aren't quick enough. They aren't quick enough to do it. So you can't play Shaw and Maguire together. It's just, you can't do it because he's going to come up and not going to get back into position, Shaw, and Maguire isn't quick enough to cover him. Yeah, so it's just a recipe for disaster. And you saw it within 5 minutes. We got cut open.
And today, not sure why they played the opposite, positioning were the opposite for Maguire and Lindelof, because Maguire was playing on the right side of
the right side. Yeah. But I thought when Rangnick tried him there, he looked all right on that right hand side. I didn't think he looked too bad. I don't know about this game. I thought. On the ball, he was okay. He was doing a few good switches and stuff. It's just his defensive positioning, his reactions, and dribbling with the ball sometimes. He worries
he's quick. But getting back, like that's why I'm saying high line. You can't play high line around Maguire. If you're gonna play a high line, Maguire has to be the one that stays. Lindelof's gonna have to be the one that goes.
Well, you have to have both pushing up, don't you? You can't, because if you have one drop back, then someone's going to get in behind with the offside line.
That's why I'm saying, like, if we're getting onto him later, but like a possible defensive midfielder, then you can have one of them go, and your defensive midfielder drops back and covers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you need your centre back stepping into midfield, kind of dictate play, especially with how high we're pushing everybody up. But it is far too dangerous with Maguire making them vertical runs. Like, anyone can get. You can have sort of player like fucking Bentner who can run in behind him, and he still won't be able to keep up with him because he's slow as fuck. Yeah. But overall play, I want to talk about just the first half as well. Usually, when we watch United, we spoke about this on the channel quite a lot of time. On the left hand side seems to be our main threat. Done it. But I thought today, our right-hand side looked really good. I thought Diego Dalot and Sancho was linking up quite nicely. Every time they got the ball on the right-hand side, I thought they looked decent. Would you agree with that assessment, Dan? Or did you see both sides of play?
I think today, we were able to see a better transition from the right side as compared to last game, because last game we were more focused on the left. And this game, also Elanga and Sancho, they were switching positions. So it was helping both the players, and they both actually have the experience of playing from the right. So we were a bit comfortable whenever we went for an attack from right side. I can see also Dalot, he's also improving a lot in attacking wise. He was already good and decent, but now he's improving a lot, and also being more disciplined when it comes to defensive wise also. So that right side with Dalot is becoming a bit stronger for us. And I think Dalot is the player to go for the season with right back.
Yeah, I just hope you can keep that consistency there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to put someone on the right-hand side, just make sure that they've got 10, 15 games back, like, under the belt, so they can start to work on a partnership. I might be in the minority here because I know everybody likes Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side, but I really like him on the right-hand side. And I think the other two players that you've got in Elanga and Rashford, and they can do a job there on the right-hand side, but their preferred position is the left-hand side. And I would have Rashford and Elanga fighting it out on the left. I'd have Sancho, and when Eriksen comes in...
Ahmad.
Maybe Ahmad. But you know what? You guys know how much I love Ahmad, but I think he has been a little bit underwhelming this preseason. A little. He's not been terrible. Look, he got an assist in the first game, but that kind of sugarcoats it a little bit. He's not been terrible, but he's not been great. I expected more from him, I think, in my opinion. So maybe him and Palestio go out on loan. I'm not sure what's going on with them. But I just think I like Sancho on the right-hand side. I don't know what you think about it, Sam. Do you prefer him on the left, or would you prefer putting Rashford, like, positional-wise? Where do you see him playing?
For Dortmund, he played both sides, didn't he? He played a lot of his football on the right, and he does play enough. I think, and we brought him in to be a right winger. That's what he was brought in for. But then last season, he had a lot of his best games on the left-hand side. And I think Rangnick and Ole both felt like, well, he's playing so well here, and then we put him on the right, he seems to be not as effective, so we'll just keep him here. But I think Ten Hag has realised that this guy is super talented, and if we get to play the way Ten Hag wants to play, you can get the best out of Jadon Sancho on the right, and we've seen it. So many attacks today down that right-hand side, and Sancho was involved with so much build-up play. Him and Dalot were really good together. Him and Bruno were hooking up well together. So, yeah, right wing could be finally solved as an issue after God knows how many years of it being a problem.
But it also depends. But it also depends on who are there in the starting lineup. So if Rashford and Sancho are there, then you would prefer Sancho on the right and Rashford on the left. So
yeah. For me personally, I would have Rashford on the left. Rashford for me, honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with him. Again, I didn't see much of him today. He played as a striker today. I know he got a goal. He took his goal quite well, didn't he?
Yeah, Eric Bay assist.
Yeah, so I heard he took his goal quite well. But I've never saw him as number 9 anyway, so I feel like he's going to play on the wings. But I don't... Yeah, what do you expect from Rashford? Do you think he's going to have a good season? Do you think he's going to be underwhelming again? Like, I don't know where it... Because there's nothing... I'm not seeing any substantial proof that he's back to his old self yet. I know it's only pre-season, we're only 2 games in, but I haven't seen anything yet where I'm like, boom. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think he can be any worse than last season.
Yeah,
like he can't be worse than last season, because last season he was arguably our worst player.
Yeah.
He was horrifically bad. So I don't think he could be any worse, which is already a step up if he can't be worse than last season. So I think Ten Hag will be able to get something out of him. Whether he'll be able to reach the level that he reached when he scored the 20-odd goals, I don't think so this year. Maybe. I hope so. But I don't think so. But I think he'll have a better season last year. And I think that's got to be our aim for this coming season, is improvement. Improvement in attitude, improvement in performances, improvement in league position, and improvement in progression in cup. So I think that's just got to be our aim for this season, improvement. And if we can get that out of Rashford, then yeah.
I remember the thing he mentioned in his press conference, saying that this is the first time he's been with the squad from the start. And there's been no internationals, no kind of surgeries, stopping him performing and stuff. So he's got a full run at it now, like full speed ahead. And he's got to deliver this season, because I remember when we did the big season review after last season, we were saying players like Shaw and Rashford are on the last kind of thingy now, like the last straw. Like they've got to start performing, because there's too much inconsistency with him. The top players, you look at any City players, Liverpool players in their attacking line, they are consistent every single season, putting in decent numbers, linking up, play really well with each other, having great partnerships on the pitch. And that's what we need to see now. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Marcus Rashford. It's interesting. I want to stay on the attacking line, and I want to talk about Martial. Because after the first game, I know we discussed it. We were saying like maybe there could be a future him as a number 9. Who knows? Obviously got another goal again today. How would you assess his performance, Dan? What did you think?
Yeah, as compared to previous seasons, I think he's a bit better as compared to previous seasons. But yeah, still, you cannot see him as an out-and-out striker who just plays as a striker. But he sometimes drops back, so that is his strength. But at this, with this lineup and with the style of play, we need a striker to be ready inside the box to just finish off the things. But in his case, I think still the confidence is a bit lacking in his. But surely he can improve, because Ten Hag won't let him be lazy, because that was one of the points which was a bit of concern. Like when he is on the pitch and he was looking like a bit lazy and not willing to run here and there. But with Ten Hag, I think he can control him. But now, if Ronaldo case is cleared and if Ronaldo comes back, then I don't think Martial might be getting much game time, because I don't at this point of time I don't see him as playing on the wings. So yeah, but he can be a very good backup role, because we have seen in the 2 games that he can score goals and he can be advantage in that attacking lineup. When he can maybe also, if Rashford and Martial are playing, they can switch positions. At times Rashford can play on the as a striker though, so that could be an advantage for us. Yeah, but I think we can keep him for this season. So yeah, he with this Ronaldo situation, so he is important for the team at this moment.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think he's great with his back to goal, and he can play really well like that. And that's why I don't know why, I could potentially see him playing a similar role to Firmino does for Liverpool. Like he drops in, and then you have the inverted wingers. And I think Rashford and Sancho can really come into their own on that. That's only if we're forced kind of not to use Ronaldo if he leaves or whatever, and we don't get a striker, which United we probably wouldn't. And if we had to use him there, that's how I would use him. But yeah, I thought he looks hungrier. He looks leaner. Looks like he's got more of an appetite, that kind of thing.
His touch was really good. Yeah, really good. Like his ball control and his touch was spot on. Like that, he took that goal so well. Like when he received the ball, took his touch straight away, bang, top, like in the net.
We're in a weak foot finish as well. He was on his left foot as well. He placed it right in the corner. So you can't really look, if we brought a signing in like Darwin Núñez, let's say for example for Liverpool, and he's done what Martial's done and he scored, consecutively in both games.
Correct name.
Darwin Núñez. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, if we were
to Uruguayan Andy Carroll.
Correct. Until he scores a hat-trick against us in the Premier League next season. But anyway, yeah, Martial, look, he can only do what a striker does, and he scored goals. He scored in both games. So long may it continue, and we'll see what happens with Martial. But I do hope Ronaldo comes back. It's an ongoing saga at the minute, just like the De Jong one is, but we'll see what happens.
Question, do you think we've played better without Ronaldo? Like visually watching it, the way we approach the build up, all that sort of stuff. I think we have. I think we played better without him.
I think it would be harsh to say because we haven't seen Ronaldo in the Ten Hag system. So
True.
maybe I'd rather kind of look at it when I've seen them both. I think we're definitely playing better. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Like systematically, we look better.
Our passing is, honestly, God.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw that passing from the United team?
It's true. It's true.
We're making passes like regularly. Yeah. It's amazing.
We're actually creating overloads on the wings and stuff. People are overlapping. Like I'm sure when Sancho was on the ball before and Dallo went past, we went, "What the fuck? What's going on?"
Who was that?
Yeah, because that's coaching. That is proper coaching. They're creating. City do it all the time. Even Arteta for Arsenal, they create angles. They bring in triangles and they pick off little bits of play.
Well, high pressing as well.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw United high press apart from that first half against Crystal Palace when Rangnick came in? That's the last time we pressed.
I thought the ball retention was really good as well. Like when we lost it, we got it back like that. Like
and when we had it, with the passing was 100% accurate. Everybody got the ball to feet. Everything was like accurate 100%. It was ridiculous.
And you can see all the players, they are not taking more than 2 or 3 touches. So mostly you can see within 2 touches, they are passing the ball. So that's an improvement.
And it's going forward. It's going forward. It's not going backwards or sideways. It's going forwards.
Yeah, that absolutely kills teams off as well. When you've got the ball for so long, you finally win it back, and then boom, they snatch it back with you again. It's kind of depleting, and then you kind of naturally then teams sit more and more back, and you see it happen with City all the time because that's how they play. So yeah, I thought we'd definitely look better playing as a team, and again, long may that continue. Are there any performers you think players who are going to really struggle in this system? Like for me, I think McTominay is going to struggle. Yeah, like I don't want to see him in that system. Again, it shows why we needed De Jong and players like Eriksen to come into that, because I know Eriksen plays a kind of different role, and we're going to get onto Eriksen in a second. But McTominay just isn't. He just seems to be like one thing, and that's it. I can't see him developing into anything more at all. I just think he'd be okay as a squad player, bringing him as in the Europa League game, in a cup game or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he cannot be a first team player going forward. Fred, I see it slightly different because I think he actually brings something a little bit more than McTominay. I think he's great at pressing. He's got a lot of energy, can tackle. He's better on the ball than McTominay, I think, in my personal opinion.
He's a good squad player, Fred. He should be someone you have in your squad.
Yeah, you definitely need him in set games, but I thought McTominay's underwhelming again. I know he got a goal, but let's be honest, it was a deflection. Could have gone in at any time. Donny was a little bit worrying because I haven't seen anything from him in both games. I don't know if any of you want to touch on Donny van de Beek.
He's been anonymous, hasn't he? Like he hasn't. He's not been shit, but he's not done anything of note either.
Yeah,
like,
the only
he's hardly on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. The only kind of thing I can throw to him is that he's in the B team if you want. But then you look at the youngsters that are performing, like Iqbal and Savic and all these kind of guys, like they're putting in performances, like really good performances. So I don't know what's going on with Donny, because we was joking at the end of the season, last season, saying like, oh, imagine if Ten Hag comes in, he doesn't play or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's not kind of throwing him the wishbone and saying, right, you can go in the first team as a number 10, see how you perform. I don't know if I know his best qualities are arriving late in the box, linking up play, playing little smart passes in the final third, but I don't know what's up with him. I don't know if he's up to the standard, to be honest. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. Ten Hag has said it before, like he knows Donny and how he plays, but I still think that he knows Donny from the Ajax team, maybe the different league, and where Donny used to play as a secondary striker or behind the striker. But this is different league, and I don't think in Premier League you can have a secondary striker and play a game and you'll be a star there. So I don't think any team plays with a secondary striker. Because secondary striker will not get much time on the ball. But at the same time, I think that Donny needs to be on the ball so that he can put an effect in the game. So this is a bit concern for me also, because if you're thinking Donny to play as secondary striker, so I personally believe that it won't work out in this team or in this league. So if you want him to gel in this team, then you definitely will have to play him as maybe central midfielder alongside a defensive midfielder. So yeah, he needs to be on the ball more. But in the last 2 games, I don't think he has enough touch on the ball. So
I mean, that'll really knock his confidence, won't it, Sam? Imagine if he's coming to this now and he can't even get in United's team when the manager that made him the player that he was. Like, what do you do if you're Donny van de Beek?
Yeah, it's early in pre-season, so I think they might. I know he had an injury issue, didn't he? Everton, like the last couple of games, this thing. So maybe he's not quite 100% yet. Maybe he's still on the road to recovery. So we might see better days from Donny further down the line. I think he'd be very. I think when I saw him play in like an 8, I think he was very good. I thought he played really well in a deeper position. So maybe that's what Ten Hag wants to do with him going forward. Maybe that's a good option going forward for United. I thought Harry Maguire, he's in trouble. He's in real trouble.
But the
if
thing
we're
is
going to
now,
play a high line, high possession football, we're in serious trouble. Because anytime we get counter-attacked, like that was just Melbourne Victory. Imagine Liverpool with Darwin Núñez, Salah, and Jota and stuff. Sorry, Punez. Jota and Salah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's going to be over within seconds. And that worries me. And Ten Hag's nailed his colours to the mast, hasn't he? And said he's going to be my captain, which means he's not going to be on the bench. He's going to start pretty much every game if he's available. That worries me a lot. That's really worrying.
I think if you're a strong enough coach, though, if that keeps happening game and it's costing you games, you can't just keep playing.
He didn't get dropped last season, though. He was costing us games left, right, center. He didn't get dropped.
I know, but I think Ten Hag will have a strong enough backbone. I know he's put him as captain for now, but I think that's because there isn't any other obvious candidates. But I even think, what did Ollie give? Maguire was after 6 months to give him the captaincy, didn't he? I think even someone like, I know he's not even properly signed yet, and again, we're going to speak about it later, but someone like Alessandro Martinez, the way his attitude is, his application and stuff, someone of that kind of profile should be the captain. And there isn't anyone like that at United at the minute. So Ten Hag looked at it and kind of thought, right, I'll just keep him captain for now, see how it goes for 6 months, and then maybe I'll look at changing it then. Maybe that's how he's looking at it. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah,
Maguire, on the same note, I think if Ronaldo would have not done his part in this last couple of weeks, then this would have not been controversial from Ronaldo's side. Then definitely Ten Hag might have gone with Ronaldo.
Well, imagine if he said, "Well, I want Ronaldo to be my captain," and then Ronaldo turns around and he's like, "I want to leave," and you're just like, "Fucking hell, man!" Yeah, Maguire, pop that armband back on. We go again. So I think it's a little bit like football politics why he's done that. But it's worrying times for Harry Maguire, worrying times for Donny van de Beek. Another player who plays in a similar position to Donny van de Beek, who we're going to touch on, is, of course, Christian Eriksen, just announced at 3:00, I think it was. It broke on Twitter or something like that. Just been announced as a Manchester United player, signed on a free, and a player that Ten Hag really wanted as well, which I believe is really important. I think he actually went to train with him after that horrible incident at was it the World Cup or the Euros? I can't remember. Whatever
World
it was.
Cup, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, World Cup. Russia, was it? Is that right? Was it? Yeah. Either way, in that tournament, and then he went to train with him, didn't he? At Ajax.
He was to get his fitness because it was after Inter Milan let him go because he couldn't play medically because of the pacemaker he has. You're not allowed to play in the Serie A if you have one. So
obviously Ten Hag's had a good look at him. I've heard him speak about him anyway before, and respects him as a player and thinks he can do a job. A few questions on this, lads. Sam, I'll come to you first on this. Where do you think Christian Eriksen is going to play?
I think he's probably going to be a Bruno backup. So we've got a long campaign. Obviously, we've got the Europa League, which feels like it goes on forever. It's just ridiculous.
I don't want to hear that music, mate. Really don't want to hear that music.
And we're like traveling to where we were when we played all the youth a couple of seasons ago. Astana. Yeah, like teams like that. And you just like give Bruno a night off. Eriksen can play, or like you said, he can play. Was it on the right or the left? He can play.
I think that's disrespectful to Eriksen, me. Like, it's a start.
No. I don't mean disrespect. I just mean like Bruno's going to be your starter, right? He's going to start pretty much every game, isn't it? Because that's you start.
I just had a vision then. Sorry to quickly, Sam. I had a vision of Eriksen like just throwing his socks in the suitcase like that, and it's just a Sam goal. I think he'll probably get a game at Astana, and he's gone what? Fuck off.
No, I like Eriksen. I like him a lot. I think he'll play. But it's just using it as an example. We've got this long campaign against teams who are just fucking shouldn't be in the Europa League. Never mind European competition. So we're gonna have a lot of games, and then he might play games against like sort of tough Premier League opposition games. So like Bournemouth comes to mind. Who else came up this season?
I remember it weren't Huddersfield because I think Nottingham Forest because obviously Jimmy
Nottingham
Garner.
Forest, that'd be a good game for him to play, stuff like that. So I think
Fulham,
he'll play Fulham. He'll play those sort of games as well. And then, like you said, he could play on the left and right, can't he? He can play on the wings. So if you've got injuries or you want to try something a little different, you've got an option there as well. So yeah, I think he'll be quite a useful utility player and playing a number of different positions, but I don't think he's a first team starter for United.
Okay, interesting. What about yourself, Dan? Where do you see him playing?
Yeah, almost same opinion as what Sam has mentioned, because maybe if we would have bought him 2 seasons before Bruno and Donny van de Beek, he could have become a star for us, a main man for us. But now I think he'll be like, the order could be like Bruno, Eriksen, and Donny van de Beek, and maybe I'm not sure how Ten Hag is planning with if we sign De Jong. So all these 3 to 4 set of players are playing in the same position. So I think Bruno will have the topmost position, topmost priority. But yeah, at the same time, then the remaining games, as Sam mentioned, that those games will be split between Donny van de Beek, Eriksen, and some other youth players also. So yeah, the timing, Eriksen is a great player, but the timing of signing him is, in my opinion, is not the right timing. But yeah, he's available for the free, so that's not a loss for us. So yeah, but on his side, he may not get the game time what he is demanding or what he is thinking of. So yeah,
maybe he's thinking he's going to be on the left because we're quite short, aren't we?
Well, this is what I was going to say.
Play in the wings.
Like, my personal opinion, I think it will depend on transfers, who we bring in and stuff. I think the way it's going to go, if he has to stay with Martial, say Ronaldo leaves, right, and they don't end up getting a striker, I think you push Bruno up into a false 9, and you can tailor him with Martial and put Martial on the left whenever he wants to play there. I think you bring Eriksen and Donny to fight for that number 10 position. Both intelligent players, can keep all the possession really well. You bring De Jong into the mix as well, into the midfield, and then Fred for that energy, interceptions, tackles, all that kind of stuff. So you've got the right balance. Or you play kind of Bruno on the left-hand side, like how we did with Dusan, or Susan Tadic, should have called him, on the left. And he also played Tadic as a false 9 as well. So I think you can rotate intelligent players, and I think Bruno could play there in a set system. Obviously, when we played with Rangnick, he played a 4-4-2, and Pogba and Bruno as false 9s, and it was just like, what the fuck are you doing? But I think
Rangnick called it a 4-2-2-2, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think you see it with City quite a lot. You have multiple positions that they can play, and I think if you have intelligent players, they can do that. And I think Eriksen, it will be.
It's going to be
similar ilk.
Like we've seen it already. I think the front is going to be way more fluid than it was.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you saw it in the first game against Liverpool. Sancho was switching wings for Rashford. Martial was going out left, and then Rashford's coming through the front. So I think you could have that fluid system. And like you said, with the intelligent players, they're capable of playing that system. So I think you could see that. You could see Bruno moving up forward and Martial going out left. Or if Eriksen's playing, Eriksen moves in behind the striker, and then like so-and-so goes out left. So you could see that sort of system.
Yeah. In one of the case, Eriksen might get like regular football is if Ten Hag is planning for De Jong to play more defensive wise, then we can play Bruno on the right side and Eriksen on the left. So how we used to have when Pogba used to be on the left and Bruno on the right. So in that system, maybe he can fit in. But then the question is, can De Jong play as a lone defensive midfielder role?
Well, we don't need to sign De Jong now. We've got Charlie Savage, so I'll save you 70 mil.
Yeah,
Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage, mate.
That's probably what the Glazers
midfield
are
destroyers.
But I think that's what Ten Hag wants De Jong to do. What Savage was doing today, take it off the back four, dictate play, compose. I think that's what he wants De Jong to do. Eriksen, how much game time do you I think you touched on it then, Sam. I know you said Europa League and cup games, stuff like that, but I don't think he would come from Brentford if it was just cup games. I think Ten Hag's got a plan with him. I think he said. No,
I think he'll play like 20, 25 games in the league. I think he'll get games, but I just think he's not going to. I think when we're lining up against, say, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, I don't think he's a starter for me personally.
Okay. Just a few details on the signing. So obviously Eriksen's 30 years old. It's a 3-year deal, and he's on 150k a week. Obviously, because we didn't spend a transfer fee on him. Do you think that's a good deal for like finance? I know you're not too bothered about the finances stuff because it isn't our money, but do you think just as a deal from a business perspective, do you think that's a good one? Eriksen on a free?
We're on our net spend is like 0, isn't it?
Yeah.
Until the Martinez deal is signed off and he's done his medical. I think we're on net spend 0 because we got Pereira 10, got 10 mil for him. Eriksen's free transfer. Malacia, what did he cost?
It was like 13 plus 2. I think
13 plus that, and then and net spend 0. So yeah, very good deal. We didn't expect him to take that much in wages, did we? Like we didn't think it was going to be a ridiculous amount. So 150K.
With Pogba leaving, we can still fit in 2 to 3 players with Pogba wages. So.
Yeah, I remember us saying that, Dan. We were saying when Pogba goes, they can free up. That's about 3 players' wages because he's only about 300k a week. So
I imagine Mato was on a decent wage as well, and he's gone. So
yeah, exactly.
And Lingard.
Lingard.
I imagine Lingard's on there.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Where would you rank him? Just before we get on to Lisandro Martinez, Eriksen as a player, where would you rank him amongst other players? So obviously, top echelon, you've got one of our very own, Bruno Fernandes, but then you've got, like, let's say a City player like a Foden or Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne. You've got Chelsea players. Would you rank him similar to like a Mason Mount, or would you rank him even lower than that? Like, where would you put him?
I think Mason Mount's a good level. I think Mason Mount is probably slightly ahead because he's won a Champions League now, hasn't he? So
yeah,
he's probably a little bit ahead, maybe just below sort of Mason Mount level. I think Eriksen is a quality player.
Yeah,
I just think
good, like a good standard.
Yeah. I think he hasn't got the trophy haul to back him up because obviously he played for Spurs and Spurs don't win shit. So I'm going to regret those words this season, aren't I? I really am. That's going to cost me. Jesus. That's getting clipped up.
Yeah.
Spurs didn't win anything. And then how long was he at Inter Milan?
Only a year or 2, I think. I don't think he was there very long.
I think
2 years. Did he win a Scudetto?
I think he won something with Conte. Well, he won the league with Conte, didn't he?
Yeah. So he's got a Serie A title to his name. But yeah, I think his trophy sort of lets him down a little bit. But I think, he's a very good standard of player. I think he's better than Lingard. I'd say he's way better than Lingard.
It's not as very low bar, though, isn't it, with Jesse Lingard?
But do you know what I mean? Everybody rated Lingard. Everybody was like, oh, Lingard, this. And then he was like, what is he, 29 now? And people were still waiting for this player to happen. It just didn't happen. So
I would put him like Ødegaard level. You know Ødegaard for Arsenal? Very, very good number 10. I would put him that kind of level. Maybe a little bit higher, but he's 30 now. So some would argue maybe he's not in his absolute prime. But watching him for Brentford last season, I thought he was really good, mate. I thought that he was like their proper creative spark. Like we were saying that before he went, didn't we? You know, there's rumours of him going. Said he will go in that team and he'll be their spark.
Yeah, that's where I rate Eriksen a bit high, because a player who can go into a struggling team and a low level team and can boost the team. And like when he came to Brentford, after that they were so good in playing, and they actually won so many points when Eriksen was playing in that team. So that's what helped that team to come up. So if a player is going to a lower team and just boosting that team up, so definitely that player has to be rated high.
Yeah, I just think Ten Hag in general wants them kind of players that can play under pressure, press resistant kind of players, and intelligence. It just wants intelligence.
Set pieces, corners, which we didn't have at all last season. Yeah. We had none of that last season.
The bit of negative news surrounding these transfers are the fact that him and Lisandro won't be joining the players on tour. Apparently, that's coming from Ducker in the Telegraph, who's got pretty good ties.
I think Laurie Whitwell said the same thing.
Yeah, which is disappointing. I don't know why they can't join up with him, because Eriksen got announced 10 days ago. So I don't know what we've been doing the past 10 days. A journalist haven't even come out and said, this is why it's taken so long, blah, blah, blah. United fans missing clarity again. No idea what's going on. So that's disappointing. If they just kept him back for the sole purpose of the away kits, to announce some of that. I think that's the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's the Glazers, though. That's the Glazers all over, isn't it?
I know, it's just so fucking irritating. But yeah, we welcome Christian Eriksen with open arms, and I expect him to contribute, as we've just said, then set pieces, linking play, making intelligent passes, and just being an overall creative spark. So I'm excited to see him play.
Great. Seems like a great human being. He seems to fulfill that Juan Mata role of being like a really decent human being and sort of role model as a footballer. Like, seems to be pretty stand-up guy.
Ultimate professional, and I always say now, this is players who want to play for us. So Malacio, when we signed him, he was like hungry to join us. He really wanted to join. Lisandro Martinez, we've heard what's been going on with him, really hungry to join. Basically said, fuck you, Arsenal, I want to go to United. This is where I want to play.
Love it.
And then Eriksen really wants to play for Ten Hag as well. So it's players coming, not just because they're very good, because they want to as well. That's the main point I've made.
They're not coming for Manchester United in a sense, or Manchester because of the stature of the club, or because of the wages that we're going to offer them. They're coming because they like the manager, which
Ten Hag's been a massive pull in this window. Massive pull, because there's a lot of players that want to play for him.
I think I put a video in a group chat of like Arsenal TV talking about all these players that they're linked with, and then they just all go into different teams. Yeah.
Rafinha as well.
Rafinha, Yves Bissouma, Lisandro Martinez. Absolutely fantastic. Love
Arsenal in the mud as always. You mentioned Lisandro Martinez, Sam, so let's speak about him. Obviously, practically,
segue.
There we go. He's practically a Manchester United player, just pending medicals and a few bits of paperwork. I think I've seen that Mike Verwijk, who's very good around Ajax, a journalist, he said just a few bits of paperwork and basically it's done. And he will be announced, I think, tomorrow with the kit. Also, as we mentioned, what a signing he could be for Erik ten Hag, or what a signing he could be for Manchester United. Now, Sam, I believe the fee agreed was in the region of 46 million plus add-ons. For some reason now with transfers, they always throw euros and shit on it. And I'm like, they confuse people because they're like, we're paying 60 million euros for Lisandro Martinez.
Pick one.
Can we just have one currency for fuck's sake? Like, just
we know what's going on.
It's so annoying. I know it's a player coming from Europe, but it just confuses the shit out of people because you never know, all over the place. I think it's probably 5 million over what I would have paid. I thought 40 million was a decent price for him. But look, when you take into consideration how many players Ajax have lost, like they've lost a lot of their players, it's kind of understandable to agree why they want a little bit more money. He's a solid player, versatile, intelligent, consistent, hardworking, left-footed, and only 24 years old. So I think this is one of the signings for me. I think he's a really, really good player, and I think we'll see that in a few weeks' time. What excites you about the deal most, Dan? You say about it, and I'm not sure if you've seen much of him before, but what do you expect to bring to United?
I think he has the experience of playing in different positions, so he can also play center back, and sometimes he can also play left back and also defensive midfielder. So he can give us so many positions within one player. And I've not seen him playing in a match, but I have surely seen some of the highlights. And the tackles he has made, like, they are so good, and he make tackles similar to what Van Bissaka does. So every time he puts the tackles in, so it's like you have won the ball. So yeah, it's many people think that his height is a bit concerned, but I can see that his stats doesn't say so. He has won like 70% of the headers playing in that center back role. So yeah, but I hope that he goes straight into the team. But I'm not sure who he will be replacing, because if he is there in the team, then you have to choose between Maguire and Varane. So personally, we will choose Varane, but I don't think that will be the case with the board. So yeah, but he is really a good addition in that very young age. 24 for a defender is a very young age, and he can still give us 4 to 5 years, top years. So yeah, it's like a signing for the future.
Exactly. Absolutely. I was just going to say that myself. I like the point you make about Varane as well, and we're going to touch on the centre-back partnerships a little bit later on. I think they call Lisandro Martinez the butcher in Ajax. I think
and
you mentioned the tackles
the pitbull as well.
So we've got the pitbull and the butcher now, which, not too bad nicknames to have. We need someone like that to come in and bring that kind of, not over aggression like a Marcus Rojo, but you need that leadership and that aggression. I think that's really important.
Shithousery.
Yeah. What did you say then? Sorry.
Shithousery.
Yeah, shithousery. Exactly. That's what the word I was trying to find. What do you expect from this signing, Sam? I know Dan touched on a few things there, but I really, really like this. I think he's going to be. You was touching on Maguire before, and you were saying how much he will hinder this system when you're playing a high line. Martinez coming in now, do you think that solves them kind of problems depending on who he plays with?
It depends where he plays as well. Like, depending if he plays as centre back or he plays as a defensive midfielder.
You don't believe this myth, do you? That we're going to play him as a DM?
I think he is. I think we do.
You think?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Why would you bring in another centre back?
Well, because it's integral to the system how you want to play. Like, we're talking about high line and ball retention and keeping all the possession.
Maguire's not going to be dropped, so that's your problem with your high line already.
Yeah, but then he'll play alongside Maguire, won't he?
Yeah,
and
but
also
Maguire's not going to come back, is he?
Yeah, and Varane and Bailly are injury prone, so
yeah. I would sell Varane or Bailly if you're going to bring in Martinez as your centre back. I'd sell one of them. That's why I think he's going to play defense, because I don't think we're getting a defensive midfielder. So I think he's our defensive midfielder. I think he play I know we're not here to talk about De Jong because that's frustrating the life out of me still. Yeah. But if De Jong did come in, I think that's his defensive midfielder partner.
And now we have another centre back in Alex Telles also.
Oh God! Yes. Don't even
Alex
start.
Telles.
No, I don't want to see it anywhere near. I don't want to see him on the pitch, let alone at fucking centre back.
But yeah, I really like Martinez. Aggressive, like I said, shithousery, and I love that in my players. You know that, Nick. Every player that I've fell in love with has got a bit of shithousery in him. So
Herrera being one of them.
Yeah, he's right up my street. You watch a bunch of his videos. He's aggressive in his play. He'll body check players. He'll tackle. He'll give people shit. Like, that's exactly what I want to see from a Manchester United player. Willing to give to the cause. Like, I bet he's already reading up on the history of Liverpool and City. I can't wait to see him play against City and Liverpool, because someone is getting checked on the field. I can't wait to see it. It'll be fantastic. So yeah, young player profile, relatively decent price. I think
it's okay, isn't it? It's not too bad.
I explained hardball, but I think we got a decent price in the end. So
yeah,
I think maybe a little bit cheaper would have been better, but it is what it is. So yeah, I can't wait to see him play. It's a shame he's not coming on the tour, because I would like to have seen a couple, as we've still got like 3 games left or something, haven't we? In Australia.
We've got Palace, Aston Villa, and then we've got a Spanish team as well that we play at Old Trafford.
Oh, so we've only got 2 games left. Oh, maybe that's why he's not on tour then.
No, I think we've got 2 on tour, and then one's at Old Trafford. We've got Rayo Vallecano.
And we've got one in Oslo as well, haven't we?
I'd have to double check.
We have Atletico Madrid also.
Atletico Madrid, that's it. That's the team I was thinking.
So yeah, it's a shame we won't see him on tour, because I'd love to see him and Eriksen, how they're going to set up the system, but is what it is. But yeah, very excited to see him, and I hope Ten Hag did mention that, not including Martinez and Eriksen, that he's looking for 2 more signings.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. So I'm really interested to see if or who we get the 2 other signings. So
right back and an attacker, I imagine it'll be. I think I've seen a lot of things going about Wan-Bissaka being sold. There's a deal in place. It might be something to do with that. And I think Dumfries might come in if we do sell Wan-Bissaka. And I think an attacker might come in. Who that attacker is, I don't have a clue. Maybe they'll go in for Anthony late, but I've always said I don't think they'll do the Anthony deal. I think they'll go for someone else.
Belotti looks like the most likely deal, because it don't cost us anything, does it? So
yeah,
that seems like a Glazer signing, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, on Lissandro, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen this game, but I'd advise anyone who's watching as well to watch it. Against Dortmund, he absolutely pockets Haaland. Like, there's clips and clips of every time Haaland gets the ball, he just smashes into him, takes the ball off him. You can just see Haaland like visually getting upset. So I would look out.
Adam's in the chat. He's just said, just needing to spit on a Liverpool badge or knock this is Anfield sign off the wall.
No, he's counting Adam for the comedy guy. Yeah.
If he does that, I'm getting a United shirt with Lissandro Martinez on the back of it. If he does any of that, absolutely legend.
Yeah, it won't surprise me. He's that kind of player. He's absolutely dedicated, and if you've watched it, he loves Ten Hag as well. There's a video of him like both dancing together, and they're both like in it, like they've just got that connection. And yeah, it's going to be great to see him on the pitch. I think we touched on it a little bit, but who do we think? Obviously, Sam, you think is going to be a DM, but so Dan, I'll ask you: who do you think will be his partner at centre back? If you just make a prediction now, we've got Mystic Dan amongst us.
He's back. He's back.
He's back. Who do you think is going to be playing alongside? Because I know who I think, but I want to see what you think first.
Yeah, it should, like, as per the club, I think it will be Maguire. But personally, I think if Varane is fit, then Varane should be his partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I agree with that. I just can't see it.
But Dan, he's injured again. He's not going to be fit, Dan.
He's not going to be fit again. Like, even before the season
started, 2 games into preseason, he's fucking
injured. It's nuts, absolutely crazy, and it's really bad because I think Varane is a really, really good centre back, and he is the best centre back at the club. But the injuries are just such an issue now, man. Like, you can't go through a full season and have a partnership. I've said it so many times. Centre backs need that consistency and they need that game time, and that's the reason why Carvalho and Terry was good. Rio and Vidic, Baresi and Maldini, whoever you want to talk about, is because they
can't believe you
so
put Carvalho and Terry before Rio and Vidic.
No, but it was just I'm just rolling off thoughts like naturally. But look, these are some of the greatest partnerships ever, and it's because of how much they know each other. It's a relationship they have and have developed.
Do you think Varane survives the season before he gets like out the door?
I don't see him going, to be honest. I don't think he's as bad as Bailly with injuries, obviously, because Bailly has had a lot of them and been out for a long time. Yeah. It's just
but Varane's at a higher level than Bailly, isn't he?
I just think it's 2 weeks. He plays 3 games, then it's 2 weeks. Plays 3 games, 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not long injuries, but it's just a few weeks.
But we're going to have, we've got so many more games this season.
Yeah. And this is why, you're leading into my point, Sam. This is why I think Maguire will play. I really do think he'll play, because I think if you have Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof together, that's too small. Like, I don't mind, Lisandro Martinez is good in the air. His aerial ability is really good. But if you're coming up against physical players like Antonio, or you're marking a set piece, you've got Van Dijk and Matip in the box, and you've got Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof, who are both under 6 foot, I think, or Lindelof just about 6 foot. I don't see that working at all. So I don't think he'll play Lindelof. And that's why I think Maguire will play. I think Maguire and Lisandro Martinez, he'll play Maguire as a right centre-back, and I think Lisandro Martinez will go as a left centre-back as a partner.
Do you want to go absolutely mental? I've got an idea for a centre-back partnership.
Go on.
Lisandro Martinez and Eric Bailly.
Yeah, that is prisoner.
Imagine both of the players on the floor.
Yeah.
It's just some player is getting knocked the fuck out MMA style, aren't they? If that's a partnership, my God.
Yeah. You're gonna give Ten Hag an aneurysm if you play them two at centre back, because one of them's either getting sent off or the other one's just it's going to be some own goal or some mad assist or some shit. But as you know, Sam, I'm not opposed to the idea of Eric Bailly. I like Eric Bailly as a player.
I do as well. I do.
I think he's got all the kind of attributes to be a good centre back, apart from his mentality at times. I just think he's fucking crazy. I think if you had that composure is a word you don't use a lot with Bailly, unless he's driving straight through the pitch.
It's not in his vocabulary.
No, it's not in his wheelhouse. Definitely not. But look, why not? Why not have Eric Bailly and think it? Because he's impressing in pre-season. So you never know.
Adam, what about Phil Jones? Fuck off, Adam.
No, definitely not. He'll be gone. I hope he'll be gone anyway. How do you think he'll be able to hold his own in the Premier League? Because obviously you have that adaptation period. You've had a lot of players come over from the Eredivisie, the likes of Memphis Depay, Suarez, who obviously we all hate, but done really well in the Premier League. But then you have other ones like Altidore, who have come and just been absolutely awful. Who else has come over from the Eredivisie? I'm trying to think of players.
Bergwijn, did we buy him?
Bergwijn came over to Tottenham. It was like a bit hit and miss. Daley Blind was okay for us. So yeah,
I thought Daley Blind was underrated. I really liked Daley Blind.
Well, he's similar. Imagine Daley Blind on steroids. I think that's what Lisandro Martinez is. Like, very versatile, smart player up there. Can put in a tackle more so. That's how I could. And Blind was good for us. I thought he was a really good player.
Yeah, I liked him.
But yeah, how do you see him fitting in the Premier League? Do you think he'll have an adaptation period, or do you think he'll be okay?
Is that me or Dan?
Sam.
Okay. I think he's one of those players who'll hit the ground running. I don't see him struggling too much. I think he's that kind of player that he'll just bang and he'll get on with it. So I don't see him struggling too much. I think Malaysia seems to be not quite vibing yet.
Yeah, I agree.
He seems to be trying to adapt, so he might be the one that takes maybe a season or so or half a season to bed in and get his feet underneath him and get used to it. But I think Martinez will be ready to go. I think he's that sort of player.
I think if you look at like fitness, quality, mentality, they're the kind of attributes you need to succeed in the Premier League. And there's only one way to find out. There's no full evidence that he's going to. Just like there was no full evidence that Darwin Núñez is going to succeed at Liverpool. It never always translates, but we're obviously hoping that it does. There was another thing I wanted to ask you. Will his height be an issue? We've already discussed this as well. Ariel, just get rid of this myth, because a lot of people just constantly talking about it, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
Lewis,
if you've actually watched him before, he's really, really good in the air. Like really good. I looked at his percentages, and Thiago Silva, Ruben Diaz, Laporte, these kind of players, he's got a higher percentage than all of them, and he's got the same percentage in terms of completion as Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire, for all his faults, when you talk about everything we've just spoken about, then he is really good in the air. He wins the ball a lot. He might not get it on target, but he wins the ball a lot.
He's got a head the size of a fucking brick.
We know he's good in the air, right? He can win a lot in the air. Lisandro Martinez has the same kind of success rate as that. So that tells you everything you need to know. Obviously, and the Eredivisie as well. I think on average, the height's like 6'2" or something. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the big lads.
Yeah. So yeah, just throw that mystery. And also go on.
You're probably going to say it, but Fabio Cannavaro.
Yeah, and Baresi, both 5'9".
Might drop. Thank you.
Jules Koundé, very good centre back, decent in the air. He's 5'8", 5'9" or something. So it's not all focused around that. Look, he might come in and he might struggle with it, but judging off the evidence that we have in front of us and what we've seen him play for Ajax, he doesn't struggle with that. He's good in all departments.
He's player of the season for Ajax last year as well. So
he's got that kind of timing and aggression and reading of the game that really helps him with that. Like, he is so smart at reading the game. And that's why he pocketed Haaland, because he knew everywhere he'd stand off, wait for his moment and hit him. Like, he's really, really good at that. So yeah, I think that's everything on Lisandro Martinez, unless anyone else has anything to say. But look, I think when you bring it as a whole into perspective, yes, we have got Lisandro Martinez. Yes, we have got Terrell Malacia. And yes, we have got Christian Eriksen. But that's a net spend of 45 million, I think it is, because we sold Pereira. City have signed Haaland, Phillips, and Cucurella from Brighton. Liverpool have
signed Cucurella yet.
It's close, though, isn't it? Like, I imagine it's most likely, but they're looking at Cucurella. They've got Phillips in the door. They've got Haaland. Liverpool got Punez. They've got
Julian Alvarez as well.
Julian Alvarez as well. Forgot about him. Completely forgot about him. Chelsea, Koulibaly, Sterling. Looking at Kimpembe as well. I'm not sure. Who did you say then, Dan? Sorry.
Sterling is also.
Yeah, Sterling, which I think is a really good back. I actually would have took Sterling. I might be in the minority there, but I really would have, because I think he's a good player. I think he would have been the first player then to play for Liverpool, City, and United, wouldn't he?
Are we even gonna mention Spurs as well?
Spurs, 5 signings in the door, and they're just about to sign Spence from Nottingham Forest, who's a really good right back. So when you put it into perspective, there's already teams around us who were already significantly better than us. Yeah. Who have made better signings than us. So when you look at it like that, it's not like, oh my God, we're going to be competing, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's still going to be a struggle. The question I want to ask you is to try and kind of summarize everything. If we bring in De Jong, we've got Eriksen, Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, and we get an attacker. Dan, I'll ask you first. Is that a decent window?
If you ask me and Sam, then we'll definitely say a CDM would have been a better.
You notice he didn't say CDM, did he, Dan? He didn't say it.
Well, this is why I'm asking, because I'm poking. You know what I mean? I'm trying to see if do you think it's a decent window?
No.
No.
So I still feel that the areas which would have been dealt with are still, we are still lacking that area, especially the CDM and the.
Sorry to cut you in, Dan. I just seen a thing I've written down before, and it's. Do you know why they didn't go and get Timber? Because they've already got a fucking blank at the back. That's what I had written down before. Sorry. Continue. Fucking, I had a little joke.
Disgraceful.
No one having that. No, I thought you would have laughed at that. No, sorry, Dan. Go on.
Yeah, so I think still the players we have bought and we are going to buy. So those players were not the priority for us. So we have not yet dealt with that CDM role, and also I believe that we in some positions we have so many players, and so that could create confusion going into the season. So we have not sold players, and we have not dealt with those players who are going out, and also we have left it a bit late, and it may take 4 to 5 games for all the new players to gel in. So I think we'll be struggling in the starting, because that's why if you see that the players which we are buying now, those players are supposed to be on the starting lineup. You except Malaysia, the De Jong, Eriksen, and Martinez. Those three players, they are not part of the tour, and they are supposed to be on the starting lineup, and they will use the starting games to gel into the team. So yeah, but coming back to that signings, I'm still not convinced. So I will never be convinced until we get a proper CDM.
They could buy fucking 9 players, and even if then they don't get a CDM, they're just going to sit there and be like, no. I don't know if there's any point asking you, Sam, if it's going to be a successful transfer window because they've not got a DM. But if your theory is correct and Lisandro comes in and plays as a DM, you might get what you want.
It's so United though, isn't it? It's so United. It's like we've got this massive hole in the midfield, and instead of just going out and buying an actual defensive midfielder who plays there day in, day out, we're getting a centre-back who can play DM to fill it. Like, it's so United. Instead of addressing the issue, we're filling, like your analogy, we're polyfilling a fucking gaping hole in the wall. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, just go out and get a player who plays that position. Like, just do that.
Yeah.
I think right back is an issue, serious issue. Dalot, decent, but I don't think he's world class by any means.
No, he's not. He's not Trent, Reece James, Cancelo.
Every other team's got one, and we haven't. Wan-Bissaka needs to go, needs to be sold, and I don't think Ethan Laird's there. I don't think he
needs another loan, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I don't think he's there. So right back is a serious issue. Striker, definite issue, because depending on what happens with Ronaldo, depending if we can get something out of Martial. If Ronaldo goes, we're seriously screwed, because Martial is our only option. And if he doesn't get something out of him, what do we do? If Ronaldo stays, we've then got another issue, because Martial's not going to be happy playing second fiddle to Ronaldo. So he's going to be out of form, upset, pouty like he gets, and not happy. So that's another issue. So striker, right back are two massive, massive problems for me. Ignoring the DM issue, which I don't want to ignore, but I'll put it because Dan's already touched on it. Right back and striker are two massive issues for me. And if we don't get both of them and a CDM, we're papering over cracks, because we're going into a season with an all right.
The crack being Harry Maguire, basically.
Yeah. We're going in with an all right back.
Yeah.
One striker if Ronaldo goes, and no defensive midfielder.
It's crazy,
and they were all the issues that we had before this season started.
Well, even still got them. Last season, Sam, we needed a midfielder. We bought Varane, Ronaldo, Sancho. And it's probably a scout in the room or something somewhere going, midfielder, we need a midfielder. And they're like, what? I don't know.
There's a scout with a database with all these defensive midfielders on it. He goes, can I just show you this? No, just fuck off, go away.
Yeah, it's probably an apprentice.
No, go away.
Probably an apprentice through a little board saying, well, we've got Sangare you could sign for thinking, like, shut up, go make a cup of tea, fuck off.
Kamada is on a free. Oh no, he's gone to Villa.
So Eriksen on a free. Let's talk about this. And the guy's just like, what? Like, fucking give up, mate. I absolutely give up.
Yeah, from last season, I had only main 2 concerns. One was the CDM, which we have already discussed, and the second thing was about the captaincy and Harry Maguire. So those 2 to 3 things have not been sorted in this season. So that's why I'm not feeling that much confident.
And let me I don't want to end it on a negative, but this De Jong saga, dear me. Like, what's the date today? 16th, is it? 15th of July. It's the 15th of July. And we're still not, like, apparently personal terms are already agreed, but this back and forth, I've got to delete Twitter, because it's just getting like so bad. Like, every single night, I'm refreshing my Twitter to see if this De Jong deal's done right. And there's just things, there's journalists coming out from Spain who are like, he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay. He wants to go to another club, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got all the English journalists who are kind of saying, no, he really wants to come. He's had enough of Barcelona. He just wants his 70 million, then he's going to bounce. And it's like, honestly, it's like a soap opera between the Spanish journalists and the English ones. It's like...
Somebody needs to stop putting a mic in front of the Barcelona president's face.
Because
some of the shit he's coming out with every fucking week, honest to God, just take the microphone away from him because he's clearly not on his medication. He needs to just go away.
I think the treatment of Frenkie de Jong's been really bad from them. Really, like, how can you say, right, look, we know we owe you 70 million in wages, right?
Million.
But we're trying to sign Lewandowski, who's probably going to get announced.
We've signed Rafinha.
They want to sign Bernardo Silva for about 80 million pounds. How can you sit there and say we can't pay you the 17 million?
They've still not registered Kessie. They've still not registered Christensen. They can't register him until De Jong leaves.
I don't understand.
The club is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's operating. I don't
It's like a drug dealer, he's got a guy who owes him a lot of money, and they're like, "Where's my money, mate?" It's like, I haven't got it. And then he's the next day, just sees him driving past in a Ferrari, and just like, mate, what the fuck's going on? Like,
as he's spitting money out of the window with it, just fucking.
I don't understand it, and I think this is going to drag on for a long, long time. I said back in June, I think it was probably done start of July. Fuck me, was I way off? I think end of August, if anything, it'll get done. And that's just organisation again. I think Eriksen deal's taken too long. We could, like, Ornstein announced 10 days ago that he was going to sign.
Yeah, they said his medical was pending. It's like, he's had a 2-week medical. Yeah. What the fuck are they doing?
Then you've got Lisandro Martinez, who isn't coming on tour either. So he's not going to be kind of prepared. It ruins Ten Hag's preparation again. You've got Ronaldo, who's fuck knows what's going on with Ronaldo. Don't know where he is. Don't know if he's going to join up. Don't know if he's going to play at the start of the season. We don't have a clue.
Did you see the offer the Saudi Arabian club offered to him? Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, but he's done an interview saying if I wanted to go there for money, like I'd do that. But
that is a mental amount of money, isn't it? Like was it 250 million over 2 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but the exposure he will bring over with him, will basically counteract that. So yeah, worrying times. The sooner we hear about Ronaldo's future, if we can get Ronaldo to stay and keep Frenkie de Jong and then the rest of the signings, I'd be happy with that. But we do need an attacker. I don't know who we're going to get, but we definitely need an attacker.
Would you rather go into the season with a striker and no CDM, or a CDM and a striker, no striker?
Basically saying, would you rather go a full season with McTominay or have Martial as a striker?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Martial as a striker, to be honest.
So you'd rather...
I think he's got better quality.
You'd rather get a CDM in.
Yeah. I think they're both the opposite, McTominay. McTominay's got the application and the attitude, and he hasn't got the quality. But Martial has the quality, but not necessarily the right attitude and application all the time. I think if Ten Hag can get that out of him, like I said before, he looks leaner, hungrier, looks like he's up for it, can play with his back to goal like a Firmino, and you can have the inverted wingers. Maybe he'll go with that. I'm not sure. So, yeah, I'd probably rather have Martial up top.
Dan, I know they probably know the answer, but we go into the season with Martial as our only striker, but we get a CDM, or we go into the season with Ronaldo and Martial, but no CDM. Your sound's gone, Dan.
Sound. Mm-hmm. Your microphone has gone out, sir. I'll answer for him. He wants to keep Ronaldo because he fucking loves Ronaldo.
He loves
and
Ronaldo.
You look at his face.
He wants the CDM.
You know it.
I think he wants the CDM as well.
He'd put Ronaldo in CDM and play him there. Yeah. That's what he'd do.
Doesn't care.
As long as Ronaldo's on that pitch, that's all he's asked about.
I'm sure Adam in the comments is about to put Phil Jones as CDM at some point, isn't it?
So before Adam can do that, let's wrap this up. Sam, where can they find us on socials? Let them know.
We are everywhere. We are on TikTok. One of our TikToks got 75k recently, which is absolutely amazing.
Funnily enough, that's because we've signed no one as well. That video is exactly on we've signed fucking no one.
So we're making positives out of negatives here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do here.
But yeah, thank you so much for everybody who's watched that and everybody's following the TikTok. It's amazing, like the stuff that's happening on that. So yeah, great. And if you're not following it, go follow it. Search Real Reds, will pop up. Instagram. We're getting a lot of interaction on Instagram. We're getting some comments. I'm having some nice chats in the DMs with people, getting some likes, but nobody's following. We need to get people, we need to get some get the followers up. So if you're not following us on Instagram, please go consider doing it. We appreciate it a lot. We're on Twitter. Mr. Dan Raj below me runs to Twitter. He's on it every single minute with the latest news updates. Doesn't miss a thing. So go follow for all the latest transfer news, contracts, all that stuff. Dan and Sherez are on that. We're on YouTube because you're watching this right now. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. We're trying to get up to 250 subscribers before the start of the season. I think we're on 215. No, we've gone up 215.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting there slowly. Help us out. Subscribe, like the video, leave your comments, all that sort of stuff. We're also on the Twitch. So come watch non-football related gaming on there. I think Sherez has done PUBG. I've done some Assassin's Creed. Adam's done some COD. So yeah, come check us out on there. We're Real Red Gaming on there. So go follow us on there. That would really appreciate it. I think that's it. Tomorrow, I think
we'll have Lissandro Martinez and Eriksen being announced in the new away kit.
Yeah,
I believe it's going to happen.
That'd be cool. And we'll probably do some streaming this weekend. And then also if Frankie de Jong happens to pop off, which I doubt it, but if it pops off, we'll be live for that. So yeah, just keep your eye on the socials and we'll let you know.
So all updates, clips, content schedules, absolutely everything. Just follow us on social media and you should be able to find it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the people who have subscribed during the show because it was at 212 before it, I think. So it's gone up to 215. Thank you very much for that. Like the video, all that kind of stuff helps. Comment. And yeah, drop us a follow on social media. We'll see you in the next one. I think there'll be a live at some point across the weekend, I imagine Saturday and Sunday. So keep your eyes open for that. Thank you, Dan, for joining me. Been a really pleasure. I'm not sure if he sounds back on yet. Don't think it is, but
I'm back.
He's back. Thank you for joining me. And thank you to yourself as well, Sam. Both have a great weekend. And you guys who are watching as well, have a lovely week.